Hey there everyone, it's me Josh. Welcome to Story Time. Right now we're reading Little Miss Somersault. Now from the Little Miss library we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books to go after this one. So 6 including this book. They're all by Roger Hargreaves. We've read so many amazing, cool stories so far from both the Mr. Men and Little Miss library. If you like this channel, please subscribe, click that bell below and you can visit the page and read stories whenever you like. Get comfortable, get ready wherever you're at, because we're about to go into story time. That's right, here we go. Little Miss Somersault is the sort of a person who doesn't just go out for a walk. Oh no, not Little Miss Somersault. She's too full of energy for that. Rather than walking everywhere, she cartwheels everywhere. That would be very, very tiring. She doesn't just walk through her front door. That would be too easy. She built a house where she could climb over the roof first. Look at that. Wow. What a cool looking house. Little Miss Somersault doesn't just sit in a chair. She balances on the back of it. It's a little bit of a gymnast. Eh? Little Miss Somersault doesn't walk around things. She jumps right over them. Little Miss Somersault's leg there, jumping over a house under the flowers. I wonder whose house that is. I can't quite remember. And rather than answer the phone as you or I might, she, well, just look at her. I don't know what she's doing there. I don't know how she's answering that phone, but she's answering it. Just doing some kind of flip. I don't know. The other day when she was cartwheeling past Mr. Worry's house, he called out to her. "There's a leaf on my roof. Please could you get it for me?" he asked. Mr. Worry had spent the whole morning worrying that the leaf might make his roof fall in. "I have a long ladder," he added. Little Miss Somersault said, "I don't need a ladder." And quick as a flash, she climbed on top of Mr. Worry's house and got the leaf off. Good skills. A little further down the lane, Little Miss Somersault came to Mr. Skinny's house. Mr. Skinny was at the top of a ladder painting his roof. There he is there, hanging out at the top of the roof there, painting it. Unfortunately, Mr. Bump came round the corner and walked under the ladder. Or rather, he tried to walk under the ladder, but being Mr. Bump, he walked straight into it. Bump. Ka-dunk. And you can see what happened. Uh-oh, Mr. Skinny's hanging from the roof. Do you think Little Miss Somersault might be able to save the day? Little Miss Somersault had seen it all happen, and without a thought for the ladder, lying on the ground, she climbed to the top of Mr. Skinny's house and carried him safely to the ground, under her arm. He wasn't very heavy. That's great. By the next morning, everybody had heard about Little Miss Somersault's daring deeds. The telephone rang. It was Mr. Uppity. "There's an umbrella stuck in my chimney. I hear you're good at climbing onto roofs. I'll expect you here in 5 minutes. Mr. Uppity's house is one of the biggest houses you will have ever seen. To climb to the top of Mr. Uppity's house would be a real challenge," said Little Miss Somersault. It took no time at all for Little Miss Somersault to climb to Mr. Uppity's roof. "That was easy," she said, as she balanced on a chimney pot. Then she looked down at the ground far below her. That was the last thing she should have done. Looks a little bit scared up there. Little Miss Somersault suddenly felt dizzy. Her knees began to tremble. Everything began to spin round and round. Little Miss Somersault had discovered she was afraid of heights. Luckily, Mr. Tickle happened to be passing. He stretched out one of his extraordinarily long arms. Do you think he wanted to tickle Little Miss Somersault? Uh-oh. It's a bit dangerous. Of course he did, but not before he had brought her back safely down to the ground. "Stop it!" laughed Little Miss Somersault. "I promise I won't do anything so foolish again." And off went Mr. Tickle to look for somebody else to tickle. Little Miss Somersault crying with laughter there. But Mr. Tickle saved her. She was stuck on the top there. It's scary when you're up high and you're like, whoa. That evening, Little Miss Somersault was sitting, that's right, sitting in her armchair. Suddenly the telephone rang. "My hat has blown off," said the voice on the other end, "and it's landed on the roof of my house. Could you—" Little Miss Somersault's face turned pale. "Who is this?" she asked in a trembling voice. "It's Mr. Small," said Mr. Small. Little Miss Somersault breathed a huge sigh of relief. "I'll be there in 5 minutes," she said, and off she somersaulted. In Mr. Small's house, it wouldn't have to go up high at all. It'd be bending down to pick something up off that roof. Alrighty, well that's Little Miss Somersault, a gymnast, an acrobat. That was a cool story. Hope you enjoyed it today. Thanks so much for being here. I'll be back with another story very soon. Bye for now, but definitely not forever. I'm Josh, and this is Story Time. If you like these, please subscribe.